this is Teresa. Thank you for hosting the lightning talks.
And Matthias.
She will be the funny one, and I'm going to try.
No, he's got jokes. Speaker. He's got jokes. He already tried them, and everybody who speaks French will understand them. Yeah, because so they're like pun on the language.
Why do French people get only one egg for breakfast? Because one egg is enough.
Come on. See? So, if you did not get it, turn to a French person next to you and they will explain.
You need to plug that in, otherwise.
This is also good for identifying. Who here is French? Okay, so all the people with the hands up can explain the jokes. This is really good networking topic. Can you go in the, no? There's someone who says he's French, he can't explain the joke. Anyways, so during the social event later, you can always go to a French person and ask them, can you explain me that joke?
Sorry, I was not listening.
It's okay, it's okay.
Can we get a mirroring, or?
What do you?
I don't know, it's not my computer.
Here, you should see what you have on screen.
You need to go,
So how many men developers are needed for doing a tech check? No, nobody can count anymore.
What?
I said how many men developers are needed for doing a tech check.
A tech check?
Tech check. The tech check.
We just need Sylvain.
So,
by the way, Sylvain.
Who is Sylvain?
Funny thing, when he was ordering at Starbucks in the US, people would not be able to say his name. So now, when he orders at Starbucks in the US, he goes by Batman. Okay, here we go.
Okay.
3 minutes.
Oh, you need to answer first. Are you really French? We said you're French.
No, I'm from Italy.
Yeah, okay. So.
That's why I cannot give the lightning talk after about AI and public institution, because we don't do that stuff down there.
Oh yeah, of course.
We don't have a public AI strategy like you have.
Do you have digitization?
Second?
Do you have digitization?
No, not really.
Fax machines, sorry.
Okay, let's go.
Okay, so, well, why should we care about how LLM work? Well, because sometimes they don't work as we want, or they don't work as they should. This is the paper from OpenAI about Codex, and I will quote some words from the paper. So it says, Codex will generate code that is as similar as possible to its training distribution. That makes sense. That's what a large language model should do. If the user has some subtle mistakes in their code, Codex may deliberately suggest code that superficially appears good, but is incorrect. Is this really what we want? No, absolutely not. Why does this happen? Because of how the model is trained. It is trained on GitHub, and on GitHub writes someone like Dan Abramov, great code, but also there is some code from myself, which is really bad. And so if Codex sees some code that is bad, it thinks, oh, I'm in a repository like Lilith1, and I will suggest something that is incorrect, full of bugs and vulnerabilities. So if we can understand why an LLM does this, maybe we can operate on how it works at inference time and correct what it does. Can we do something like this? Can we understand how an LLM works? Well, up until mid-2024, the answer was not really, but then this paper appeared. This is 8 June 2024. It comes from the EPFL Research Lab of Professor Robert West, and it investigates the intermediate representation of the Llama models. Why Llama? Because they're open source, and so researchers can use them. The idea here is pretty simple. What is the language of intermediate representation? And the answer is English. So if you ask an LLM like Llama to translate from Chinese to French, it will pass through English first. So if you try to make the LLM write in French or in Italian or in any other language, it will pass through English, and it will use some style, some bias that is present in the English culture. That's interesting, but that's not enough. This is 1 month later, end of June, more or less, NumFOCUS. This is a very nice paper. I suggest everyone to read it. And it's not very easy to understand. This is from Reddit. And I will try in 1 minute to explain what monosemanticity is. Well, the idea is let's pick an intermediate representation of a large language model, and then let's try to, what? 3 minutes?
3 minutes is really
Okay.
fast. You can wrap up really fast.
Thank you. The idea is to have flags, Boolean flags, that are very similar to semantic concepts, semantic ideas. If we do that, we can understand what is the flag related to the Golden Gate, and this is funny, but we can also understand what is the flag related to brain sciences and make the model better at talking about brain sciences, but we can also understand what is the flag related to gender bias and make the model more aware of this fact. And this is it.
3 minutes is really fast. Next speaker can already, like as soon as the previous speaker is done, the second one can come and try to plug their laptop because it takes some time.
Yeah, and the next speaker is going to be Chuck. Is there anybody here who doesn't know who Chuck is? There's a couple of people. Okay, you'll just meet her in a bit. Okay.
So I tried to run some like.
Oh yeah, what is your name? Because you didn't put your name on the.
Carlos.
Carlos.
Yeah.
Are you also French?
No, I'm from Chile.
Have you been to Paris before?
Yeah. What do you like about Paris? What's your
I'm be here before. I love the river.
We need Batman on the deck.
Yeah.
Likes the river. Does anybody know which river he means? He said he likes the river in Paris. River.
Because it changed
Yeah.
in the recent update
It's a bar?
of OS X. You need to go there.
The food. The what?
Thank you.
Okay, so
Merci.
is it working? Is it working? Okay, so first question for the whole room. Who here is the first time in Paris? Wow, so we have very few people the first time. And it's raining, so...
Can we get mirroring on the?
You want to swap the...
Okay.
Okay, the magic is going to start now. A round of applause, please.
Merci. Bonjour. Good afternoon. I'm Carlos Calvo. There's my GitHub account. Jonas is with me. He's in the audience. So, who are we? We work for a research and development center, which is a relay, or we generate information about natural resources. That's why I love the Sena River. And among other things, we generate information about soil and water movement. And here comes the random things and soil erosion. So stay tuned for Friday about the Code Spring. And so the water movement in the soil has been described by brilliant, genius minds, French. So give it up for France, which already solved this problem. Q stands for quantité, and many years ago they already solved this problem, but those equations are pretty hard to solve. So we have tried in the past, like discretization, the real world in three-dimensional states and in time, but there's another approach, which is the machine learning approach. So how we solve this problem is with ground truth data, through measuring the water head movement in the soil, combining with machine learning models, which are using remote sense data as predictors. And with solving that or training these machine learning models allows us to, and now is demo time, to develop real-time monitoring tools that allows us to quantify the soil moisture content spatially. So in our in our country. So let me try if this works. So 32 seconds. Will it work? No, but, oh yeah, so there it is. Yep, so I have prepared it beforehand. We can solve the water content in soil and its movement in different periods of times, just predicted with machine learning models. And believe me, we got very pretty fine results of the model training compared with ground truth data. And there's 0 seconds left. And so that was my presentation. Merci, thank you all. And today is my birthday.
Dude,
Next on deck.
wait, did he say it's his birthday?
Yeah.
Can you all sing a birthday
Will
song?
you do it?
The French version.
Everybody. Happy birthday to you. Joyeux anniversaire, Carlos. Joyeux anniversaire.
Merci.
Thank you for spending your birthday with us.
Next on deck.
Next talk is going to be from Isra. Okay. And Chuck is going to talk about hidden data center. Is she already? Oh, she's not set up yet.
I have a
It's going to take a while.
Okay.
It's asking for a keyboard.
Yeah.
How many-
Well, I don't need a keyboard.
Okay, it
Get
should work.
mirroring?
Mirroring?
Should I be starting now?
No,
Okay.
the mirroring.
It's not there on the
It's not there on the screen.
Hmm.
Hello? You gotta look at my face for a
Yeah,
bit
you
then.
go.
there.
Okay, it's there. So,
A big round of applause, please.
thank you. So for those of you who recognize this artwork, so please, I would reveal it at the end, so don't worry about it. But I'm going to talk about missing data. So who here love missing data? Oh, I thought everybody hate missing data. But anyway, I recently learned about this. Actually, a lot of things that we have in life actually are based on numbers that we measure from male. So the default is kind of male. So for example, in English, sometimes we say like, instead of like a doctor, if you go to like, see a doctor and the doctor happens to be a female, we would say, oh, that's like, I see the female doctor, But it's rarely the case that I'll be like, oh, I see a male doctor. Like, why? Like the default is like, in a lot of things, being male. So there's some example, like, a lot of numbers are based on male body, the behavior, the lifestyle, all sorts of things. For people who are dealing with data all the time, I guess a lot of you are here, we always talk about this, oh, there's like some bias in the data, and so we have to, we always talk about we have to be careful of the bias and all these things. But sometimes the bias of data is not just about discrimination and stereotype and all these kind of things, like, oh, sometimes, you see on social media, oh, like, this generative AI model is generating things that's super stereotype and it's wrong and all kind of things. But the consequences can be more serious than like something that is just funny. So for example, there are some, cases that there's this like bulletproof vest that is for police officers or soldiers. They are actually based on a male's torso. So like the measurement, the proportion, and all this like based on a male model. So for a female police officer, so does it mean that like women won't get shot? No. So that could actually have consequences, because if it doesn't really fit well, maybe the protection is not as effective. And sometimes, it's not just to like, bulletproof vests, sometimes like shoes, like, or protective gears and things. So for example, I have a problem, it's not just like a male-female thing. Like I have an Asian head, which means that my head is quite round. It's very hard for me to buy a bike helmet because they're all oval shaped, that's like designed for Caucasian. So, actually these like ill-fitting product can actually increase the risk of someone getting hurt. So other than like, getting hurt or accidents, there's also, I've talked with someone in PyData Amsterdam last week that they said that, oh, in the medical data, most of them, that they collect this data from are, the people who undergo these tests are like white male, 90% of them. So that's why we always talk about like a lot of times women get misdiagnosis or they would have these like problems that doctor will overlook. So bias of data is bad, but like missing of data actually can make 50% of the population suffer or like have higher risk. So we should be all inclusive, so not just women, but people who are underrepresented. I would highly suggest you read this book. It's amazing. It's using data to tell you some story that you may have never heard about. So thank you.
Okay, so next person on deck, come and plug your computer.
Yeah, and the next person after that is Tyrone Capello. Also French, right? No?
It's always French. Have you been to Paris before? For those of you who were at...
I mean, if you give a lightning talk, it's like grounds to get a French citizenship, right?
I guess.
It in Paris?
It depends how you pronounce croissant.
Ah, okay.
Okay. Thank you. Go ahead. No slides.
No slides. Go on.
I literally signed up like 2 seconds ago. So hello, everyone. Yeah. Thank you. So hello, everyone. My name is Isra, and I'm a software engineer and a STEM mentor. STEM stands for science, technology, engineering, and maths. I'm from Algeria, and where is that, you might ask? I usually answer by it's just besides Morocco, but it is actually the largest country in Africa. If you look at the map, you wouldn't miss it. I would like to ask you a few questions maybe, and you raise your hand if you relate to the situation. So raise your hand if you knew the answer to the following question. What do you want to be when you grow up? Did you know the answer to the question, what do you want to be when you grow up? You must have, people have asked you before, what did you want to be when you grow up? Did you know the answer to that? Raise your hand if you did. Nice. Raise your hand if you answered the doctor. That's a classic one, right? Great. Raise your hand if you said you wanted to be an astronaut. Nice. How about a fish? I promise that was not me. Okay, so raise your hand if you did not know the answer. Oh, that's nice because that was my answer. That might be a TMI, but I only got into computer science by recommendation of my father, who saw it was like the jobs of the future. Obviously, he was right. Thanks, Dad. But I fell in love with the world of zeros and ones, and I was so mad that I haven't met them before. I had no idea that existed. So that's how I got into making small actions, making small efforts to help the next generation, which is my topic, to inspire them to pursue a career of their choice. I done some research based on cognitive science, how to design a child-friendly technology and get them inspired to go into STEM in general or into science. I usually ask my young learners what they want to be when they grow up, and I tend to get, I don't know, but when I go deep into their answers, it's not that they did not know what they wanted to be, but they obviously have met a lot of choices, and they want maybe to try them all. So, yeah, thank you.
Thank you. So we, okay. Yes. And after this, we have Gwen, who's already prepared. And who here became what they wanted to be when they said what they want to be? Like, do we have any astronauts or doctors here in the room? Okay, so. And no fish?
Do we have people who wanted to be a machine learning engineer when they were younger? Who wants to be a machine learning model when they're older? Sorry.
Model. I wanted to be a model.
You can be
I wanted to be a model.
You can. This is your.
Like, but then I ended up not really growing up.
I mean, I'm guessing once we are uploaded to the computer at some point, we will become machine learning models.
You want to upload your consciousness? Who here wants to upload their consciousness for then further generations? Okay, we have one conscious, 2, 3. Very good.
Have you thought about the environment
Of
and
your,
the power it will use?
you don't care about the next generations anyway, so
We have mirroring.
mirroring.
It's not
mirroring.
there on the screen yet.
You have to do the.
Yep. Oh,
I think for the mirroring we need to use words from mirror on the wall. Who's the?
Bloody Mary.
Yeah, Black Mirror. Applause, please.
Thank you. Thank you for giving me the opportunity to present here. I'm very glad to be here at PyData. I'm Alex. I'm a data scientist working at Renault, but this is a project that I did on my personal time, and it's basically a defensive package to do data analysis with polars. So I really grow very much fond of polars, and decided to, well, it would be nice if we could have a possibility to check data quality on the fly, and also because I'm a big sucker for TDD, I thought that it could be nice if we have the opportunity to do that as well. So basically, oh, then let's just rewind that quickly. There you go. Yeah, sadly, it doesn't work like that. All right, so basically, the only thing you need to do is do an import pelage as PLG, and then you have your typical lazy frame or data frame that you do, and you have your data in here, and you just pipe and start doing checks. And whenever the checks fails, it sends you nice error messages that allows you to correct that and just verify that your data is always correct. And it works with both data frame and lazy frame as of now. So just released the last version just a few minutes ago. So anyway, just pelage for Python defensive analysis for polars. Don't hesitate. Sorry, Marco, it's not written in Rust yet. I'm not that good. Perhaps one day. And don't hesitate to come to see our talk tomorrow about our MLOps pipeline that we have at Renault Group and that we will present with my colleague Alexandre Carton. Thank you very much.
Thanks a lot, and feel free to come give live demos. You know, it's okay if you fail. It's not. We learn by failure.
What, he was supposed to try Rust?
I mean, it was just videos. It's more fun when we see.
No, it was perfect. He pitched the talk for tomorrow. So we have Gwen, but the next one is going to be Tim Boneman. Is Tim here? Yeah, great. Get ready.
And big applause for Gwen, who also does without slides.
I don't have a live demo, but I'm really glad you said it's okay if you fail. So Teresa forced me to give this talk. Thank you, Teresa. I have had the afternoon to try to prepare an improv. I'm Gwen. My pronouns are she, her. I think I'm not the default male anymore. But I used to be a boy, and as a boy, I used to come here at Cité des Sciences et de l'Industrie, and I used to come to the Cité des Enfants, the kids' city, and I used to come to the planetarium, this kind of thing. And I think this is how, I wanted to become a scientist, which I did. I think this is my main driver. This is about understanding how things work, how the real objects in life work. And this is why I'm so happy that I became a data scientist for Windows. Not the Microsoft Windows, of course. The real Windows, the ones that you don't see the blue screen of death, but the blue sky of Paris. Well, sometimes. The birds and everything, And actually, I don't that much care about the window or the frame. I care about the glass. I care about the materials. And you'd think that this is easy, that making glass is easy, but this is something that I discovered it's not easy. So I love materials. I love glass. Do you know who I'm working for, really? Anybody has an idea? Oh, wow, wow, congrats. Yes, I work for Saint-Gobain. Who know about Saint-Gobain actually here? Oh, wow, shitload of people. I didn't, I was actually expecting. I was actually expecting to have like just a couple of people that I know very well. Good. So Saint-Gobain, we're this material company with a lot of glass and glass wool, like insulation. You know, insulation is a big thing because we have to insulate all these buildings, or else we're even more fucked that we are with the global warming and stuff. We work on pipes. You know, the pipes that bring you your water at home, and not at home, but really distribute the water on the world continents and stuff. The potable water, but we also take the garbage water, but this is another story that's not as nice to talk about. Anyway, and you'd think that all these things, actually, we know how to make very easy, and that is like standard physics stuff, but this is so difficult, actually, you know? We don't really understand what happens in our industries when we know glass wools or stuff. We have a lot of physicists and chemists that are working on this, you know? And, you know, they will tell you that they know a lot, but at the same time, it's not that easy, and there is a lot that they actually don't know. And data science, I think it's really cool when you can work on this interface of trying to understand the nature of reality, but apply to some materials or stuff, you know. What did I want to say? So, what else? So it's complex, and I work with a lot of data of industrial lines, and boy, are they shitty, but if you want really shittier data, let's ask a material scientist about their data, and don't tell my colleagues that I said that, but they are like, oh, can you help me with these 4 data points that I have? I say 4, but I put 3 because, you know, I do math, basically, so anyway. And so we have a big question about how we can actually raise all the understanding that I have, which is these 4 data points, you know, or 5 or anyway, you know, everything that all these researchers, they know and they have in their heads, and all what we have written in our technical documents, and all the results from our labs and stuff. How can we actually understand really the nature of our products? How can I understand really how can we improve our industry? And we have so many things to do because, you know, when you open, did you know that when you actually launch a glass plant, you know, you light it and it's gone for 20 years. For 20 years, you will have your glass at 1,000 degrees, and you basically cannot stop it, or else it's finished, you know. So if we build one today, you know, we have to keep it until 2044, you know, and we want to become carbon neutral for 2050. So how do we do it? You know, there are so many cool challenges. I wanted to say another word because I'm passionate, but I will just stay on cool. If you have solutions on this, if you are interested in this, if you have already explored these kind of things, please come to me, because I really love to understand how I can solve this mess. Thank you.
Thank you. So while Tim is getting ready, we want also Renaud, Martin
Renaud. Martin Renaud.
I tried. Who here has tried to learn French and gave up because of the pronunciation?
So who's next?
Tim.
Tim? Where is Tim?
Tim was there. He was raised his hand. Tim. He's looking for somebody or something.
Okay.
Bonjour.
Go ahead.
Tim works at IBM Research, and he will only need 2 minutes for his talk. Smiley face.
So another English-French joke.
English. Okay.
We'll try with the pronunciation. You know, I'm bad at English and French. Why does the French chef died? Because he lost l'huile d'olive.
This is a food joke that will definitely get explained during dinner.
So if you have a Mac and you come and plug in, before that, open your preference panel and go to display and get ready to right-click on the screen and do mirroring.
Huh? So, who understood the previous joke? Please raise your hand so that people can look at you. Keep the hands raised a bit. You can even stand up. It's good exercise. So people can come to you during the social event and ask you to explain the joke. It's really like, sometimes we are like worried about icebreakers.
So you go to displays. And Batman, we still don't have the mask.
This one. Oh yeah, you need to mirror it, right? Or which settings?
Or is it not plugged in?
So I did not follow what happened.
Well, it was showing on the other.
Oh, pen and paper.
So we already have a first person that is converted to Lightning Talks loving state. Do we have more people who want to give Lightning Talks for tomorrow? You know how to do it. You know, you come to this awesome box full of stickers.
So what will be your Lightning Talk about?
I just thought about this. So I've been watching quite a lot of videos about international development these few days, and I thought it would be interesting to share what I learned.
Great. So we see you maybe later today or maybe tomorrow?
Okay. I also watch a lot of videos, Korean drama. Who wants me to give a lightning talk on Korean drama
The third one.
tomorrow?
You speak Korean, right? I've heard you say
진짜?
Korean.
No, just very little. Just the Korean you pick up in Korean drama. Sarane and you know. Yeah, see? We ready? You have to say mirror. Okay.
Ikimasu.
Okay.
Arigato.
Mm.
All right.
Applause.
Okay, bonjour, croissant.
Citizenship.
So my name is Tim Bonneman. I do community for open source science, which is actually a NumFOCUS program. So PyData is a NumFOCUS program, and so is open source science. We're just much smaller. If you've been to PyData Berlin, they made me wear this to give my lightning talk there, which was very fun. I wanted to alert you to a project we're working on called the Map of Open Source Science, called MOS. The idea is to create an interface that lets, for example, scientists explore the open source landscape for tools that might help them do more science. And so imagine an interface that connects open source projects, papers, and the people behind them. And hopefully will make it easier for scientists to discover existing open source tooling, but also for other stakeholders like funders of open source to maybe get a better sense of where they should put their resources. We've done a lot of prototyping last year, and we're getting ready to actually build an application. It will look something like this. Imagine, a universe of open source where you can zoom into your domain, whether it's batteries or, biology or whatever, and hopefully, accelerate the work that you do. You can learn about us on the internet at opensource.science. And the GitHub is there, but it will be full of actual code very, very soon. That's it. If you want to learn more, talk to me. Thank you.
Thank you.
Are you also looking for contributors?
What's that?
Are you looking for contributors?
Yes, we will.
He's looking for.
Yes.
Can you put the QR code again? Oh, no.
And
So you can find him. He's gonna give you the link.
we give you honorary French citizenship.
Yes.
We give you honorary French citizenship for the croissant.
Yeah. It's like a honorary PhD. Yeah. Who here knows a politician that got an honorary PhD? Yeah, we know some people.
Who we had next?
Okay, the next. Sorry. Next, we have another Italian person who's going to talk about Italian cues, maybe. Yeah. So, but his name is not French. Yeah, I know. Luca.
Okay, so can we have the slides on?
He has to say mirror, mirror,
Mirror, mirror.
mirror,
Yes,
mirror,
I am.
mirror, mirror on the wall. Yeah. Then you have to ask the next question.
Kagami.
Who's the prettiest
Cool.
one? There you go.
Hello,
Applause.
everyone. So my lightning talk is called Create Your Own Jupyter Lite Deployment in 3 minutes. So hopefully it will take 3 minutes. So you can go on this repository in GitHub. It's a Jupyter Lite Xus Python demo. And this repository is actually a template repository. So if you click there, use this template, create a new repository. Yes, choose an owner, you choose yourself, and then you put the name of your deployment. Create repository. So it's cloning the repository on your account. Then you can go to settings. This is all explained on the README, so no, don't worry. Then you go to, what is it, pages. Just deploy from GitHub Actions. That's it. So it's all configured for now. Then if you go back to the code, In your Jupyter Lite deployment, you want to have your packages so you can use them in Jupyter Lite. So let's go and edit this environment.yaml file. So this is the file that says which package you want to have in your deployment. Let's edit it. Let's put matplotlib. Okay, commit. That's it. And then if you want to, I won't do it right now, but if you want to add notebooks to your deployment, you can just add them to the content directory. And that's it. It's building right now. I can actually see it building there, pending. So I don't want to awkwardly wait for this to finish because there are many people in front of me, so this is weird. So let's just look at this other repository. It's just the same. This one has finished. It will give you the link to your deployment. It's deployed on GitHub Pages. So you can just open it, and that's it. You have your, and that's it. You have your Jupyter Lite deployment showing up. Actually, I have some untitled notebooks there that are not. This is just local stuff. But if I start the kernel, I should be able to import matplotlib, and that's it. So it depends. Oh, yep, it works. And just last thing, if you want to know which package you can actually put in the environment.yaml file, I would suggest just try your packages, and if it doesn't work, don't hesitate to come and talk to us. You can also file an issue to mscript-and-forge recipes and ask for guidance. We don't bite. We are happy to answer questions. And that's it.
Thank you. Where can they find you, on LinkedIn or at the conference?
Yeah, come and see me. It's Constack. People.
Okay, so next person.
Luca. And then the
Next.
next one, we try again with the human brain meeting.
Otherwise, we will go to the
Otherwise,
next
we
tomorrow.
have. So does anybody want to give a spontaneous lightning talk? Just like they got it's a thought that they can't let go and they just want to talk about it. It can be anything. Going once, going twice. We have. Okay, so we have.
You can just come if you want.
You can come to the.
I think we have spot from one person.
Yeah.
So one more poll. Who says pain au chocolat and who says chocolatine? So pain au chocolat.
Pain au chocolat.
Chocolatine.
What's chocolatine?
Ooh, you're in minority. No. We love you, everybody, equally. And who doesn't understand the question?
Can I get some assistance with the...
You have to say mirror, mirror.
Yes.
Oh, mirror, mirror.
No, because no,
Who's the fairest of...
You don't want to see the cat.
You need to
No, exactly. I don't want to see the cat.
Okay, you assist.
Oh,
yeah,
yeah, please. Thank you.
Okay.
So go to
Displays.
the Apple menu display, yeah?
Oh, this
Who
one.
is?
Yeah, okay.
Who was here at
Then
JupyterCon last
This
time?
one, bridge.
No mirror.
Did you notice
Oh.
that it was raining then too?
This one. Oh, sorry. This one. Miroir. Voilà.
So I was really surprised that every time I come
Croissant.
to Paris, it's
Croissant,
raining.
c'est
So
ça.
I live in Hamburg,
Et puis
where
donc,
it's
si
also
j'ai fait
statistically,
plein
if you would go
écran.
visit, it would be raining.
And now you can say mirror, mirror.
So I mean,
Okay,
like a little,
okay,
like
mirror,
kind
mirror.
of, you want to go somewhere else where it's not raining.
Maybe not.
Is there anybody who came today from a sunny place? Well, yesterday, sorry, yeah.
Good.
Okay, so everywhere else.
Okay.
No, it's
More
mirrored here,
developers
so we
helping.
were waiting for.
Good.
Okay. It's. I think it's mirrored. So the mirror.
Now mirror,
mirrored.
mirror. Say mirror.
The mirror
Yep.
mirrored.
Awesome.
I mean, it's only work when you
Okay.
say it.
There we go.
She's a witch.
Okay, 3 minutes. This will be a long one. Hello, everybody. My name is Luca, and I'm a huge open source enthusiast and collector of swag and all the kind of stuff. So I will come for your stickers, Meve. And as many of you here, I didn't know what I was going to be doing when I grew up, and I ended up being a machine learning engineer. When I was younger, I didn't do a lot of stuff. And so my really good friend of mine, Alessandro, who is a bunch of titles, taught me a bit about data structure, and especially one that I think you will have to know about, and you will be so glad that you know of. by the end of this talk. And just for clarity, I'm not Alessandro Re, I'm not a PhD, I'm not even a dungeon master, to be fair. I actually have a bachelor in philosophy, so you can actually do whatever you want when you grow up. But let's talk about data structure, okay? Everybody's favorite part about CS, which I didn't get. So, what is a queue? A queue is actually, or a line, is a linear data structure that is used to manage data that is processed sequentially, right? Well, that's not how we do it in Italy. A queue in Italy is a CISO strategy. Something in, something out, right? Or actually, first come, eventually served, right? And to be fair, if you want to do some test-driven development and sketch out the structure of how we want it to work, well, it's nice, right? We also use the wordless operator. Shout out to Marco Gorelli, who actually has a plugin that is called Auto Wordless that adds wordless operators where it can modify your Rust code. And so let's implement this because we have 2 minutes and that's going to be plenty of time to implement this. And it's going to be so much fun. So first step, create a node class. A node represents an item in a queue. And since we're too cool for loops, we're going to use a recursive function that is an implementation of this self-insert method. First step done. Second step, implementing the push. Well, the initialization is trivial, and the push will actually just use the recursive node.insert method to add stuff to our totally linear queue. And this is just the easy bit. The technical detail that is a bit tougher to understand and implement, so we use some pseudocode for that, is the pop method. And pop will remove the first element in the queue, and will let the next element in the queue take place, right? And so if the queue is empty, of course, we raise an error. And if you're being served, we need to extract the successor, which doesn't really grant a return in the actual one. And so enough for the implementation side. And this is left as an exercise to the reader, as all the best books tell you, by the way. And this is just a visualization, which makes it more easier to grasp for you. So basically, we have a counter, and then we push the first element into the queue, and then we push another one, and then we push another one, and then we push another one. And this is the queue, right, which is linear in time. And if you think about how it works out, the order arrives with Alessia, Bob, Carla, Dean, and Evan, and it is eventually served as Bob, Carla, Alessia, Dean, Alessia again, and even finally. And see that like the last element is always the last one, right? And they're simple and linear. And if you think about it in terms of complexity, push is always O1. Pop is, that's not anti-pop. Pop is not of 9 3/4. That's ruined the landing of my joke. There we go. I was expecting something like this. Space complexity, we know it. Mind complexity is a bit harder. And of course, time complexity, well, it is what it is. And one last detail, and you're saying, oh, come on, Luke, I'm never going to use this. I mean, this is not really relevant in any way, shape, or form. It's just an exercise for you for this lightning talk. Actually, I have plenty of evidence that this works in real life. Thank you. I'll see you tomorrow at this talk. We're going to talk about serious stuff and time series foundational model with my friend Gabriele. Thank you very much. You've been a wonderful crowd.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm still amazed. People complain that French has a lot of silent letters, and Q just need one.
Yeah, who here has been in an Italian queue before? Go on. Okay. So, round of applause for very spontaneous lightning talk.
Well, thank you, everyone. I actually thought twice about giving this talk, given that I had literally zero preparation. Just as I said in the last few weeks, I was thinking about work, the future of work, how's it evolving, especially with all of the AI debate going on and the shifts that are going on. And let me just share some interesting numbers that I stumbled upon. Many come from the World Bank data. The first one is that in the next decade, many of young people in the emerging world will actually attain working age. So that's 1.2 billion people. And across the emerging markets, these countries will only be able to generate 400 million jobs. So that leaves about a gap of 800 jobs to fill. And especially when you look across, the developed world, many jobs are getting automated. And that creates an interesting debate. Just as someone said, I want AI to automate my laundry, to do the kitchen, and to let me and to leave me more time to do the thinking and the write poetry or do whatever. So that's something to reflect on. And at the same time, there's an interesting demographic change that is going on around the world, with many developed countries having a higher proportion of old people. An interesting number is that by the year 2050, 1 person out of 3 of the working age population will be in sub-Saharan Africa. So I've been thinking about all of this, how is it evolving? And I started working on something with my brother. It's called Keel. Keel is supposed to be an app or a website to do professional social networking, but in a different way. Because when you think about it, you usually meet people in events like this, then you add them on LinkedIn, not the other way around. So we want to bring something that is local, that is community-based, and that is focused on connecting people on the ground. So if you want to hear more about this, I mean, you can come talk to me. And yeah, thank you very much for your attention.
Thank you. So on that note, who here is going to retire in 20 years? Retire-ish?
You mean retire early or just retire because you're too old?
No, retire whenever they want. I mean,
It depends if we have retirement.
like who wants to get early retired?
I would like to. If I'm replaced by AI, which is likely.
Yeah, but then AI has to pay you. Okay, so we are done with the lightning talks for today?
Yes, I think there is a social event. I don't know if anything
And there's
was said
more
about that. First, we're going to get a big round of applause for all the people we don't see that are behind the scene.